Tuesday, May 29th, 2018, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Looking at the markets this morning and also Italy, things are getting really interesting. I talked about Italy yesterday. Today I'm going to look at the BTP versus Bund spread. And what's that? Well, that's the differential between the 10-year German government bond yield and the Italian government bond's 10-year yield. So the BTP, that's the Italian government bond, BTP, and the Bund is the German government bond. So it's the BTP Bund spread. Even the leader of the the Northern League, or the Lega in Italy, one of the coalition parties that was blocked from forming a government by the president of Italy, a guy called Matteo Salvini. He said that the next election is going to be like a referendum or a plebiscite between the lords of the spread. He called them the lords of the spread and the Italian people. By the lords of the spread, he means the financial elite, the IMF, all the central banks. They need to keep this spread tight. They can't let Italian interest rates go through the roof, because that would bring down, well, it would bring down Italy, like the debt. It would be a debt default. It would bring down all the European banks, because they've all lent money to all different countries. Italian banks have been lent money by German banks, French banks, Spanish banks have been lent money by UK banks. It's a mess. So it's getting quite interesting. This morning, this spread has continued to go higher. And I will talk a little bit more about what's going in Italy before we go over the prices. Yesterday, of course, the markets traded. The futures traded, even though it was Memorial Day and a bank holiday in the UK. Things have turned around, though. Actually, the Dow right now is down on the day from Friday. The dollar is stronger against the pound and the euro. Yesterday was the other way around. But surprisingly, the dollar is also down quite a bit against the yen, which is weird. So let's have a look here. Gold, yeah, they've kept it down here below 1,300. I would say that not only the U.S. and the Bank of England, Fed, Bank of England, also the ECB is probably now also intervening in the gold market, especially with what's going on in Italy. So gold's at 12.97, down about $1. Yeah, disappointing. I think we should be higher, but it is what it is. The range has been 12.96 to 13.0165. Silver is down 6 at 16.40. Range has been 16.38 to 16.55. The Dow, though, is down to 108 now, down almost 0.5% at 24.665. S&P is down 12 or 0.5% at 27.11. The NASDAQ 100 future is down 40, just almost 2/3%. Around 69.45. The pound is broken below 133. It's at 132.80, down 0.25%. Euro is just below 116 here. It's 115.98, down 0.25% as well. And the dollar is down 0.5% against the yen, which is unusual. It's at 108.88. You'd expect gold to do well from that. That's why, it's a bit strange. But anyway, that's the way it is. Let's look at some of the European stock markets, especially with what is going on in Italy. Well, the Italian stock index here, the MIB it's called, is down 344 points or 1.5%. I think yesterday it was down 1.8. Germany is down 100 points, the DAX 0.8%. The Spanish stock market is down 1.4. So everything's in the red in Europe and in the US. The FTSE is down only 37. So this is the headline here, and I got a story, excuse me, from an Australian paper. Sometimes it's good to read different sources. News.com.au. It says Italy descends into constitutional crisis with new election likely. And this article notes that Italy has had no fewer than 65 governments since World War II. So yeah, Italy is politically unstable. But even this crisis is a bit unusual. And I think the president of Italy, by blocking this new government the other day, just because they're going to have a Eurosceptic finance minister, Paolo Savoni, I think it's backfired on the Italian establishment, because now the populist leaders are really angry. I saw a little video yesterday, and I understand Italian quite well, and Matteo Salvini walking through Rome being interviewed by reporters. And he was just saying, you guys have to give me some time, a few hours, because I'm really, really angry, or pissed off, as he used it in Italian. You know, I need time. You know, this is ridiculous. And yeah, this article notes that Matteo Salvini calls the establishment the lords of the spread. So the spread is, I mean, you look at the Italian papers as well, all the headlines are about the spread. For example, Corriere della Sera, which is, you know, the biggest Italian paper, I would say, Corriere della Sera, it says spread at 260 basis points. The stock exchange in big drop. And then it says that the new prime minister, caretaker prime minister, Cottarelli, who's a former IMF guy who believes in austerity, right? Italy already has 35% unemployment for people over 25 to 35. I'm not sure, but young people in Italy, they've got huge unemployment, very anemic economic growth. They've taken the austerity regime that they've been told to have. So this new caretaker president, he's for a spread, but he even said default improbable. So just the fact that they're talking about this is and I think that's what the markets are worried about. I think this is really, I think the League and the five-star movement are going to be get even more together, because they're angry about the fact that they thwarted their government. You know, they won fair and square. They worked for about 11 weeks since beginning of March to form a government, and then at that last hurdle, the president says no. So the elections are supposed to be pretty much in late summer, after the August holidays in Italy. Italians take they take almost the whole of August off for holidays. It's called Ferragosto. It's like so that's, maybe after August they'll have elections, but things are really uncertain. I'll show you, so the spread. First of all, I'll show you the BT. So the higher the spread goes, it means that there's a crisis or something's not well for Italy. So I'll show you, this is from an Italian website called money.it, and it says quotazione e grafico BTP Bund. So it's the BTP Bund spread. You can see that from 2000 to 2008, that spread was like, never went above 50. Everything was great. But I can tell you, before there was a euro, that spread was huge. The euro is an artificial thing. And then after 2008 crisis, it started going up. 2009, it got up to 167. And then it came back down, all the bailouts, QE. But then it started moving up again around March 2011. And it got up to 531. That was at the end of 2011. Then it went back down again. The sovereign debt crisis was ongoing. And then it spiked back up to 506. And that's when the Mario Draghi, president of the ECB, came out and said we're going to do everything it takes. And it's been, and it's been ever since that time that the spread has come back down. It went back, and that's where we're now. I'll show you a more recent chart here of the BTP Bund spread. Now going back to 2016, you can see that it stayed fairly stable between 125 and let's say 150. It has been towards 200, but now we're picking up again and we're back at 250. So this is really, really important to keep an eye on. Right now, for example, the 10-year Bund yield is 31 basis points only. That's really low for a 10-year government bond yield. I remember, traded a lot of German Bund futures, and the nominal coupon for them is 6%. I'm not sure if they've changed that now, but they haven't, and so that's why the price is so high. But it's ridiculous, 0.31 basis point yield. But that's happening as well because if there is a crisis in Italy, a lot of money is going to flow into the Bunds. Why the Bunds? Because they're seen as a safe haven, the German government bonds. So Italy now, the 10-year yield is at 283, as you can see here. So the spread is at 253 right now, or 252. So that's significant as well. But it could move very quickly. Yesterday, the markets were fairly calm in the morning. The 10-year yield in Italy yesterday dropped to below 250 early in the morning. People thought everything was going to be all right, but then they realized how much anger this decision by the president of Italy resulted into, and how it could really backfire. And that's why we've seen the yields here. We were below 240 yesterday. Now we're at 283. The high today has been 293. And I can tell you it's going to be very volatile. We could drop to 263 in the next hour or so, and then go up to 3 later in the day. You never know. So this is the most important indicator, I would say, the BTP Bund spread to keep an eye on. I'll put a link to this spread if you want to keep an eye on it. It is an Italian website, but you can the number tells it all. And the higher that goes, the worse it's getting, the crisis, and it will spill over into everything. Italy is really not Greece. Italy has the third biggest government bond market in the world, and as I said, all the European banks lend to each other, lend to all the different governments. French banks are on the hook for a lot of loans to the Italian government. So this is getting interesting. Is this what's going to trigger a crisis, financial crisis? It could be. So that's why we need to keep an eye on it. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can also donate to my channel if you'd like. There's some links below in the description. You can follow me on Twitter, on Steemit, and on YouTube. And I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.